Dear, I just want to welcome you to the set. My cousin, y'all, I'm excited. But I wanted to welcome you to the set because your story has resonated with me deeply. I mean, just unplugged, unscripted. I just get chills when I think about your transformation, you know, because I was there. I've seen you broken. I've seen you at your worst, to say the least. And now to see you at your best, you know, and it's just like, tell the viewers, I want to say, what age were you? Talk about a little bit before you snapped and before you rewired, but some of your most broken years and what you were kind of dealing with in those years. It could be from 15 to 25, you know, where it's just like, you know, life was just like, you know, and then going to that turning point. At some point, you had a day that took place in your life where everything changed. And I'm hoping that the people that are watching Wired to Win, this will be the day that everything changed. Their health, their relationships, their finances, their faith. You found faith like never before too. So just talk to us about those broken years and how it all turned around.
Okay, well, my name is De'Ara, aka the Seamoss Queen. For me, I started my journey very young. I was depressed and didn't even know it. I battled with obesity my whole entire life, from the time I was 3 years old all the way up until I was 26 years old. In 2014, I decided to get gastric sleeve surgery, which is a weight loss surgery. At the time, I weighed 345 pounds. I made that decision because I was told that I needed insulin. So for me, that was the physical wake-up call when it came to my health. I made that transformation and took that step, and within a year I lost 115 pounds.
Wow.
So fast forward, you know, when people think just because you have weight loss surgery is the easy way out, no, it's all mental. From there it comes to, now you got this weight off, but the surgery isn't going to do it by itself. You're still obese. You still need to lose more weight.
Wow.
So you have to train your mind to know, okay, the surgery was a stepping stone for me to mentally get prepared to physically do the work on my own.
Oh my gosh, you're like preaching right now. And I just stomped you right there, and I'm obviously butt in every now and then, but that's such a game changer. She's talking about her mentality, her psychological operating system that had to elevate to get ready for her new life, her new body, her new money, her new relationships, her newfound faith, everything, you know. So she has her wires crossed, and I think so many of you listening to me out there, you're looking for this magic pill, this magic smoothie, this magic conference, this magic course. And at the end of the day, even after you listen to her story, you have to make up in your mind that everything's going to change.
Right.
Yeah.
I put more pressure on myself because I started feeling better, I started looking better, and I started doing more things on my own than thinking that a surgery could fix me completely. So from there, moving forward, I took myself out of a bad relationship, and I came back home to Ohio to kind of rebrand myself in a way like never before. I promised myself when I moved back home, I was not going to do all the things that I used to do when I had lived originally in Cleveland, Ohio. So that was the first step of the mental change for me. The second step came when, you know, I started getting more connected back to God. I had lost all faith with my Creator, and from there, that's when I really started to see the wires start to cross and untangle, so to speak.
Yeah.
So getting back in faith, and as well as being more active in the gym and with my weight, I started to adapt a vegan lifestyle.
Wow.
So when I adapted a vegan lifestyle, I was vegan for about a good year and a half.
Wow.
Most of you who may be vegan know it takes a lot of mental discipline to go from 350 pounds to just, you know, going all the way down to 200 pounds and then just cutting out everything. So that's where more mental training started taking place. But becoming vegan was something that actually opened up my mind to learning more of a holistic and clean approach when it comes to medication, when it comes to the way that we eat, what we put in our body.
So what medications were you on, or what type of, what were you relying on outside stimuli that once you shifted your meal plan, you no longer needed that stuff? Because I do want you to touch on how we're making these pharmaceutical companies billion-dollar corporations because of what we think we need, and nutrition can heal your body.
Right.
I mean, that's,
right.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, at the time, after I lost all the weight, I was no longer on any medication. So the medication that I was on was metformin, which is for diabetes.
Okay.
I was on the highest dosage of metformin, which was 2,000 milligrams, and I was taking 2,000 milligrams twice a day.
Wow.
So I was taking 4,000 milligrams to the point where the doctor wanted to put me on insulin. And that's when, I had the weight loss surgery and said no. And so from there, it's like I didn't need any medication. I changed my diet, I changed my thinking and my eating habits.
Wow. What day of the week was it that everything changed? What day? Do you remember the day where you decided, I'm going to go and get this surgery, and then after the surgery, I'm going to work for it?
March 2nd was the day I was told I needed to have insulin. March 15th of 2015 was the day I had my surgery. April 2nd at exactly 7:40 p.m. was the day I made my first post, just letting my best friend know, hey, your Seamoss is ready. And from there, I woke up to 20 DMs of people asking me, do I sell Seamoss gel?
Wow.
April 17th,
Wow.
I registered Tailor Made Seamoss as an LLC, now a Shelf Corporation, and it's not even 90 days in, and I have over 3,000 customers with an 80% returning ratio. So as I adopted this more of a holistic lifestyle, I start researching, and I start coming across all of these different per se herbs and minerals that other countries have been using for years.
Wow.
Here in America, we are so programmed to just everything our doctor says. Your doctor says this, your doctor says that. Not physically understanding, or more so mentally understanding. Our doctors are the biggest sales reps in the world. They just have a legal pen and pad to be able to do so. All right. Again, this is my personal opinion, but it's the mentality that I have taken on. So with understanding that, I looked at other countries that have been using holistic and natural healing forever, like India. India is a country that you don't hear about pandemics coming from there. You don't hear about a lot of different, Western Americanized way of living when it comes to countries like India or even Vietnam, who are more prone to living off of the earth. Okay, so from there, of course, we all have heard of Dr. Sebi and his practices, but more so understanding the holistic approach is what geared me toward, quote unquote, the Seamoss.
So researching best nutrition practices and getting into the vegan lifestyle. By the way, are you still a vegan?
No.
So are you a pescatarian or?
No.
Okay.
Right? So,
you do eat burgers, French fries, hot dogs?
So.
Okay.
All right. I did live that vegan lifestyle for a good year and a half. Now, of course, me being in America, me being human, me still being a lover of food at the end of the day, it was something that I truly plan on going back to. But right now, I'm attached like all of us are. So I still try my best to eat as clean as possible.
Okay.
But that's where, because of the way we are programmed to eat, more of a holistic lifestyle is approach to help me get back to that.
Okay. So you didn't have the faith like you have it today. You were in probably psychologically abusive relationships, maybe. You were morbidly obese, on medication, your financial portfolio was non-existent, probably had terrible credit. Were you on government assistance?
Yes.
So, yeah, pretty much as bad as it can get in America.
Right.
At this, beside being homeless. But you probably experienced some of that at some point, right? A measure of homelessness, sleeping on somebody's couch, jumping around.
Correct.
A measure of it. So, wow. I mean, if you're watching me, you're dealing with suicidal thoughts, not wanting to be here, not feeling like people love you, not feeling like you'll ever be married, or you'll ever have the family that you visualize, and that is just such a very painful place to be. It is an endless hole. It's a bottomless pit, and to claw your way out of that, what did you do here mentally? I mean, if you could tell our students, our tribe, our family, 3 things that you had to shift in the way you thought outside of your meal plan, because it's scientifically proven that nutrition affects your mental state. Right. We got that. That happens automatically. But what were some intentional things you had to do to change the way you were thinking in order to see a different result? Because I teach this inside of Unlock Elevation, that your external world, your life is a printout of your psychological state. It's like you are a printer and you get what you see. Mm-hmm. What you see is what you get. So was visualization a part of your rewiring? That you have to start seeing this life that you are now living, the husband, the money, the success, the faith, the beauty? You were always beautiful, even when you were 365, just by the way. But seeing yourself a smaller version of yourself, this desire, this hunger, that's why I wear my Home and Hungry shirt, this hunger to manifest the real De'Ara. You know what I mean? What happened? What did you do mentally to change the game?
Well, for me, it was more so like every pound I lost, I felt like I was losing my old self and transforming into my new self. Mm-hmm. So as I lost weight, it shifted me to physically feel like I'm losing the old baggage that I used to actually carry.
Wow.
Okay, so when I was losing all of that excess weight, I was losing all the pain, I was losing all the hurt, I was losing all of my past demons, and I felt like I was now transforming my body into a new walk of life.
Wow.
So that's the biggest way I really can interpret it. And the main 3 things that I would say that really, quote unquote, got me rewired, something that came from my husband, was challenge everything you have ever been taught. We grow up in a way of, our parents are our teacher. Our parents have taught us up until, 18, and probably up until this day, our parents are still teaching us.
Yeah.
But, we tend to go to our parents thinking that they are like our head source of a leader, where it's more so we need to challenge everything that is told to us.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, that's one thing that really started to clicking and making sense. More so me stop depending on what others have an opinion and just solely just listening to, that one angel, that one voice that you hear where it's like, okay, that's what you should do. Not always having someone on your ear to question, well, are you doing this correctly? Or are you doing that correctly? More so just not having the care of what anyone thinks.
I want to ask you a question. Are you taking notes? Because if you're not, you need to start taking notes. If you're not a cerebral note taker, you need to start taking tangible notes so that you can come back and read, not just watch, but read and recite and revisit and put this into motion. Application is something that has avoided so many people. They get the revelation, there's no application, and then they get no result, and then they're complaining. And challenge everything you've ever been taught is, for me, a policy, a principle, this notion that you have adapted some paradigms and some mental programs that are not going to work in today's world. You need to challenge the idea that a lot of what your parents have taught you, or your teacher or your professor has taught you about life that worked for their life is not going to work for your life. And so challenge everything you've been taught. I'm not going to say the core values of what makes life work or your faith, but really examine the belief systems that you have been walking in, the paradigms or the patterns and programs of, what you think. So she could have very easily just grew up and said, you know what, I'm supposed to be broke. I'm supposed to live off the government. This is what women do. We live off the government. I don't need no man. Somebody who grew up in a home that said, I don't need a man, is somebody who will never be married. When deep down inside, the real Tailor wanted to manifest a beautiful marriage. And so we need to be very cognizant of our belief system. See, success is not always about what you learn, but it's about what you unlearn. And so you need to be unlearning some things in this season in order for that next chapter to commence. It is the rewiring of your psychological state that's going to force the page. I want you to write that down. It's time for you to force the page. Everybody wants the next chapter, the next book, but it has to be turned. And the only way it's going to be turned, you change the story, you change the narrative, you shift the cycle, you snap the cycle, is if you are rewired. So challenge everything you've been taught is such a powerful notion and belief system. We can stop this interview right now because that was so profound. What was the last two things that really changed the game for you?
Understanding that as you go through your journey in life, you will lose people along the way. Understand that you can't be scared to lose a friend or lose a family member or lose a job or lose a promotion. You know, you have to understand that everything and everybody is not meant for the next level. Someone who was coming back to faith and stumbling upon these new adventures, that was something that was really hard for me to start understanding until, you know, I just start putting it all in the Lord's hands and just understanding like, okay, well, yeah, I lost this friend today, but hey, you know, it's fine. Life goes on. I'm going to another level. Maybe she's not meant to go where I'm going. Or, you know, this family member is causing negativity in my life. Okay, yeah, it's my family member, but so what?
That's so powerful because misery loves company, but also success loves company. There's always room at the top. And I love that there's some people that you have to let go of. If you are an evolving person, your circle of influence should evolve with you. I think many of you listening to this interview right now, you have been trapped in a world that you have outgrown, beautifully equipped to live in a world that no longer exists, where you have to come down and stoop down and reduce yourself to this level just to keep the company of people that are no longer qualified to be attached to you. So I want you to ask yourself the question, who am I attached to, and do they match the world I'm stepping into? It's the power of disconnecting from people that are keeping you from flight. There are people who are going to crawl with you, who are going to walk with you, who are going to bleed with you, but not everybody's going to fly with you. So you need to be writing these things down. What she is saying is so powerful. Ask yourself the question, are you willing to exit out of a relationship to enter into a new one? Are you willing to release some people that don't even understand the frequency that you're flying at? She talked about the weight loss, the mental fortitude, and now we're going into the Seamoss, which is entrepreneurship. There's a lot of people you're going to lose when you start talking about entrepreneurship because your average person is wired to work a 9 to 5. Their mom and their dad said, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and get married, have kids, and die at 65, unhealthy and miserable. And so the entrepreneur lifestyle is extremely intimidating. What's that last piece of advice that you have for our listeners before we get into this amazing business, which you went from probably making $10 an hour, government assistance, to now you're a multiple six-figure earner, headed towards probably making your first $1 million in the next year or two? Right? Scaling the business, connecting with bigger outfits that are going to be able to help you with distribution and all of that. So let's get into that last piece of advice. What is it?
Do not be your own biggest critic. Believe in yourself. Don't think that you just can't do something because it's too big for you to believe that you have the capability of doing. You are not the one in control.
Wow.
You're not in control. As much as you want to think that you are, your creator, and Jesus Christ for me, is leading my footsteps to my destiny. And everything that has taken place in my life were steps that needed to take place for me to get to the moment I'm at right now in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Our will gets in the way. So you have to relinquish your will for the will of the Father. I think that's just such a great point that you brought to the table. I think there are many people who are listening right now who just have so many self-sabotaging belief systems, so many self-sabotaging programs, notions, ideologies, philosophies that are putting them in a prison, a self-made prison. Get out of your own way. These three pieces of advice have been so paramount, so transformational. It's been an amazing interview. I want to talk about the Seamoss now, okay? Because you went from government assistance to working a 9-to-5 to now owning a very successful multiple six-figure business. You've joined the club because for the last 6 years, I've been able to generate that kind of money. People want healthy immunities, and to be honest with you, a healthy body is so valuable. It's just as valuable as a healthy mindset. And so I'm so glad that we're kind of in the same personal development world where she can sell a product and I can sell a product and we can transform the lives of so many. So what is Seamoss? How did you become the queen of Seamoss?
Okay, Seamoss is just seaweed, okay? Seamoss is grown across the world. A lot of people have this perception that is just straight out of Jamaica. That is a false perception, okay? All right, but Seamoss is seaweed. The power of seaweed, as far as Irish moss, has 92 minerals. Our body is made up of 102 minerals. Seamoss contains 92 of those minerals. So what Seamoss is mainly known for is removing inflammation and mucus, okay, from our body. A lot of diseases in our world, but especially in the African American community, which are high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, even lupus, fibromyalgia, are all mucus-driven diseases / disorders, okay? So Seamoss is known for removing mucus. So if that plaque buildup is removed out of your system, you no longer have a quote-unquote disease or disorder because it restores your body. So outside of that, Seamoss gives you energy. Seamoss suppresses your appetite because when you have the minerals that your body need, you don't crave a food. You don't crave anything when you're giving your body what it truly needs, which is minerals.
Wow.
Okay. I can go on and on about what Seamoss is, but at the end of the day, it's something that everybody needs to put in their everyday way of living. And it's seaweed to us, but in many countries, it's considered a perishable. It's considered a vegetable.
Wow.
The United States is the only country where it's just considered, something that cleans the ocean.
So show us some of your products. Take us on the tour.
Okay, so this is the actual Seamoss gel. Okay, so this gel is my lemon honey Seamoss. I pride myself on my gel being non-salty, non-gritty, and extremely smooth.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
You would take like 2 tablespoons a day of this. What you will notice within hours is energy. That's the number one thing, energy, and then along with all the other benefits that you'll notice. Okay, so this is my Seamoss gel. I also have 102 complete mineral capsules. So these are called Tailor Complete.
Wow.
So again, I told you earlier, our body is made up of 102 minerals. Seamoss contains 92 of those minerals. Burdock root and batterak is the other 7 minerals that will make up the whole 102 minerals for our body. So this is a month's supply of capsules for someone who, quote unquote, can't tolerate the gel or just need that extra boost for those extra minerals.
Wow.
Okay. I also have my newest product, which is oregano essential oil.
Wow.
When you think of oregano, you think of pizza, you think of Italian. You don't really think that this is something that can help my body. Oregano is an essential oil. A lot of people don't really take essential oils, but you can. Oregano oil is known for removing parasites out of your body. Okay.
Wow.
Based on how we eat, it doesn't matter if we are a raw vegan, you have parasites in you from the food that we eat. So it has many benefits, but it helps out with your immune system, a parasite cleaner, and many more benefits that I can go into, but we don't have the time. Okay. I also create drinks. So I have 3 flavors of the drinks. These drinks right now are only available for local pickup in Cleveland, Ohio. Sorry. But this is my strawberry lemonade, the blueberry lemonade, and the peach tea. These all contain sea moss. So this is something maybe easy for kids, a quick energy booster, or just something more healthy that you choose to drink throughout your day. Outside of that, I also sell the raw sea moss. So this is raw sea moss. This is 1 pound. I sell my raw sea moss between 1 and 6 pounds. But this 1 pound of sea moss can make 9 to 10 of these jars. Okay?
Wow.
So it's a process that you will have to do, which I do have on my website.
Now that looks like pasta. If somebody wanted to buy a pound of that sea moss just like that, could they take it home, put some garlic powder and some ranch on it, and eat it like a salad?
In Vietnam, they do. In
Okay.
Vietnam, sea moss is a delicacy vegetable, only served in 5-star restaurants.
Wow.
Where they literally go in the back, pull it out the ocean, saute it on the spot, and serve it as a main dish.
Wow.
So this is calamari in Vietnam.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing. So
also
tell them where they can find out more about the sea moss. What's the website?
The website is www.tailormadeseamoss. Tailor, Tailor, Tailor like the suit. So tailormadeseamoss.com.
Wow.
I also have a Facebook like page at Tailor Made Sea Moss, but more often everyone finds me on Instagram.
Instagram. What's that URL, that handle for Instagram?
Tailor Made Sea Moss.
Nice. Nice. I hope that this interview has added tremendous value to your life. I want to leave you with this. If you want to reshape your life, you have to rewire your thinking. Number 1, you're going to need to stay positive. You're going to need to be an incurable optimist. Always see the positive side of everything. Next thing is you're going to need to strive for progress. In striving for progress, you're going to be perfected. If you shoot for perfection, you'll miss the mark. But if you strive for progress, you'll be perfected, and you'll walk in perfection by striving for progress. Number 3 is that you need to be the hardest worker in the room. Your work ethic needs to go to the next level. And it's not always working harder, but it's working smarter. The new hard is smart. And so you need to automate what you do. You need to be able to delegate your workload, but make sure you're getting the work done. The next thing is to challenge yourself. If you want to rewire your thinking, you're going to have to challenge everything you know and question everything you've been taught. You need to examine your paradigm and see if it's going to work in today's world, because a lot of what you were taught worked in a different world. All right? The next thing and the last thing that I want to share with you is to capitalize on the opportunity, seize the moment. It could have very well been an open window that she could have missed. An open window of opportunity that may have never opened up again, but she took the moment. She striked while the iron was hot. And so we want you to keep that mentality that when the window is open, strike. All right, guys, this has been yours truly, Marcus with Unlock Elevation, interviewing my cousin, De'Ara, the Queen of Sea Moss. I'll see you in the next video.